Hey gamers, Maniac here with GameAccess.net. We're going to be talking about hair. And as you can see, and if you've been watching this channel growing up with the last 10 years I've been running this channel, you may have noticed that Maniac has had all these different types of hairstyles. Sometimes long, sometimes short, sometimes none. One time none. But for the most part, you may notice especially it's been long. Why is that? Well, the short of it is I hate haircuts. Why get haircuts in the first place? What could any benefit whatsoever be to having certain hair dress codes and things like that, other than simple basics of cleanliness? And let's be honest, even when I was a child, and probably even when your parents were child, shampoo were things, soap were things. It was possible to keep hair clean, even if it's long. So those standards are pretty much just garbage. Why the hatred of hair? Why the demand to constantly, especially for young people, what's with the demand for getting constant haircuts? I mean, some people can be bald as early as their 20s. Why shouldn't you enjoy the time you have the hair, basically? And I've never gotten straight answers for any of that. I have noticed, being a gamer, that, okay, there may be some things to it. There are two basic things about hair that I think is a reason why everybody views it negatively. They hated the hippie, you know, my parents' generation hated the hippie generation, or yeah, basically you got that. So part of it probably comes from a hatred of the counterculture. And let's be honest, when I was growing up, gaming did not require you to show your face. Your appearance as somebody was usually based upon either your virtual image or avatar, basically. I'll call it an avatar. Or whatever, you know, gaming profile setup. You didn't show your face in your profile. You didn't use your name in your profile. So if you were controlling a character with either a controller or a keyboard and mouse, and this was, again, before, you know, virtual streaming, you know, motion control and stuff like that was a thing, it didn't matter how long or how short your hair was. And since it didn't matter, I could grow my hair long. And that worked out pretty well, because when my hair was short, it was pretty difficult to manage. It would basically poke up in the morning and there was no way that I could get it down. So I get bullied constantly going to school because all the hair product that I try to use to keep my hair down while it was short would not work and would just cause flaking and stuff in my hair. And yeah, so like I'd have, you know, that, of course, nowadays everybody thinks that's actually attractive. So I was a trendsetter, so go figure on that one. When my hair has actually got some length to it, it'll actually listen to me. But I have noticed two problems in today's day and age, both of which have to do with problems from hair. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up about these two problems so that you can accommodate accordingly, especially for those of you who may be interested in growing your hair out once you have the ability to do so. First things first is head tracking, or has something similar to head tracking. Now, head tracking in video games, for the most part, is not so much a big deal. However, 3D surround headphones, particularly AirPods and things like that, do 3D spatial audio. So if you're watching something like, I don't know, Disney Plus on your iPad, and you've got third generation AirPods or second generation AirPod Pros, then you can actually make use of spatial 3D audio, very similar to like a virtual surround sound, basically, which has been a thing for a while. I'm not questioning that. However, Apple's technology is not gyroscopic, very similar to other technology. Apple uses its 3D spatial audio tracking based upon the Face ID camera and probably the infrared cameras that are used with the Face ID camera on your Apple device. What does it track? your ears. And that's how it gets a good read on your head. And if you have long hair like I do, it's not going to be able to track your ears. And if it can't track your ears, that can be a problem when you're doing the initial setup for 3D spatial tracking. You may not be able to make use of that functionality. So that's one thing that I immediately noticed. The second thing is virtual reality. That is another thing that I've noticed that can have a problem with hair, particularly hair that can go over your face or your eyes. We don't have such a thing as a unified system for 3D helmets. And so if you're going to be putting a VR headset on, even a modern VR headset, and this video was recorded before Apple released their VR, their augmented goggles Vision Pro, most of the time you're going to be putting this thing on, you're going to be putting it over your head and face, depending upon what type of head strap that you're using. I like to use the Meta Quest Pro. That is my preferred VR headset at this time. And it's going to probably be my preferred VR headset moving forward, at least unless the Apple Vision Pro seems to really wow me. The thing that I've noticed with putting that on is that I can put it on, it can be tracking my head, no problem. There's no problems of any of this or anything like that. But occasionally, depending upon if I put it on incorrectly, I have to be noticeable about my hair, because otherwise the hair will go over my eyes and that will obstruct my vision in 3D virtual reality. Obviously, could I, after the fact, pull the hair out of my eyes? Yeah, but that's an extra step. So my point about all of this is that Maniac may need to get a haircut. And he really, really, really doesn't want to. I'm curious what you guys think about this. If there's anything you guys have noticed about hair, I really would be interested in hearing about it. Until next time, guys, my name is Maniac with GameAccess.net. Take care. Over and out.